A silent force has destroyed empires for millennia. It's not war or plague, but a hidden mechanism. This pattern, a 5-stage debt trap, has crushed civilizations. It's the secret history tried to bury. Let me show you how it works, and why it matters to you today. This isn't speculation. This is documented history. From the earliest city-states to the greatest empires, the same stages unfold. You'll see how elites quietly consolidated power, leaving the masses in ruin. Your understanding of economics will never be the same. The first stage begins with prosperity, a booming economy. Credit seems abundant, easy to access. People borrow for land, for trade, for a better life. It feels like opportunity, but it's the start of the trap. This is the calm before the storm. But here's the catch. The prosperity is often built on borrowed time. The debt grows faster than real wealth. Early warning signs are ignored, dismissed as temporary. The system appears robust, yet cracks are forming beneath the surface. To understand this, we must journey back. Thousands of years ago, in ancient Mesopotamia, the concept of debt was born. Farmers borrowed grain, merchants borrowed silver. It was a simple exchange, but it held a powerful, dangerous seed. The Code of Hammurabi, from nearly 4,000 years ago, reveals a society grappling with debt. It details rules for loans and interest, even debt slavery. This wasn't just about money. It was about control. The powerful knew this truth. I've linked the source in the description. This ancient text shows that debt could enslave families for generations. It wasn't a metaphor. It was a brutal reality. Your ancestors faced these same mechanisms, designed to trap them. The second stage is the credit expansion. Everyone is encouraged to borrow more. Governments, individuals, businesses, all take on increasing burdens. The illusion of endless growth fuels this expansion. It feels like progress, but it's a deepening hole. This expansion often funds grand ambitions, massive building projects, military campaigns, luxurious lifestyles for the elite. The money flows, but it's not real wealth. It's future promises. And those promises always come due. In ancient Rome, the Republic saw cycles of debt crisis. Farmers, returning from wars, found their lands ruined. They borrowed from wealthy patricians, often at exorbitant rates. This was a pattern that repeated for centuries. The patricians, the wealthy elite, used debt to acquire more land and power. They knew the game. The common citizens, the plebeians, were slowly stripped of their assets. This created immense social tension, a powder keg waiting to ignite. The third stage is the debt bubble. Assets inflated by easy credit reach unsustainable levels. Land, commodities, even labor become overvalued. Everyone feels rich on paper, but the underlying value is hollow. This is the peak of the illusion. The rich get richer by lending, and the poor get poorer by borrowing. It's a fundamental imbalance. This isn't a flaw in the system. It's the system working as intended. The pattern is always there, waiting to be recognized. The Roman historian Livy documented these struggles. Debts led to public unrest, even secession by the plebeians. The powerful tried to suppress these movements, but the pressure built. The system was eating itself alive. You'll find the source link in the description. The patricians eventually had to concede some debt relief, but the underlying mechanism remained. They understood that controlling debt was controlling the people. This is the critical part. The fourth stage is the deleveraging. The bubble bursts. Credit dries up. Asset values plummet. Those who borrowed heavily are crushed. Banks fail, businesses collapse, and unemployment soars. This is the painful reality. This isn't a bug. It's the design. The system purges the weak, transferring their assets to the strong. The elite, who lent wisely or held real assets, emerge even more powerful. They profit from the chaos they helped create. In Rome, many plebeians lost their homes and freedom. They became debt slaves, their lives forfeit to their creditors. This was the brutal consequence of unchecked debt. It was a cycle of despair and exploitation. The same playbook, different players, the mechanism is simple. Create debt, expand credit, inflate assets, then pull the rug. The wealth doesn't disappear. It just changes hands. It flows upwards, always. The fifth and final stage is the consolidation of wealth and power. After the collapse, the few who navigated the crisis emerge with vastly increased control. They buy up distressed assets for pennies on the dollar. This is the endgame. They rewrite the rules, ensuring their position is even stronger for the next cycle. The masses are left with nothing but the memory of prosperity and the burden of new debt. This is the secret they don't want you to know. This isn't prophecy. This is mathematics. Anyone with a calculator can see that compounding interest, over time, leads to an inevitable transfer of wealth. It's a slow, silent drain on your future, your savings. Think about that every time. Without fail, the pattern repeats. Empires fall, currencies devalue, but the debt trap remains. It's a fundamental truth of human nature and economic systems. What makes this dangerous today is its modern application. Right now, the same five-stage pattern is happening globally. Governments, corporations, and individuals are drowning in unprecedented levels of debt. It's already happening. The Global Debt Monitor shows trillions upon trillions in outstanding obligations. This isn't just numbers on a screen. It's the future of your children, your economy. The stakes are higher than ever before. Those in power protect themselves by creating new forms of credit, new ways to keep the system afloat. Meanwhile, ordinary people struggle with rising costs, stagnant wages, and personal debt. Same pattern, different era. We are in the midst of a massive credit expansion, a global debt bubble. The signs are everywhere if you know where to look. History shows this cannot last indefinitely. The deleveraging is inevitable. Every empire believes it's the exception. None were. This time is not different. The rules of economics, the patterns of human behavior, remain constant. The consequences are coming, whether we acknowledge them or not. So, what should you take from this? First, understand that debt is a tool of control. It's not just about borrowing money, it's about power. Recognize its true nature, its historical impact. Second, be aware of the stages. Recognize when credit is expanding too rapidly, when asset bubbles are forming. Your awareness is your first line of defense. See the pattern before it crushes you. Third, build your protection. Focus on real assets. Reduce your reliance on debt and understand the value of self-sufficiency. Knowledge is the only true protection in these cycles. This isn't just about ancient history. It's about your present, your future. Understanding these cycles empowers you to make better decisions. It changes everything you thought you knew. All sources are linked in the description. The evidence is clear. The pattern is undeniable. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. This knowledge is what they don't want you to have. If this opened your eyes, if you finally understand the hidden mechanisms of power, then you're starting to see the bigger picture. Subscribe because the next video will reveal how empires used secret societies to maintain control. Who truly pulls the strings? The secrets history tried to bury. Past Chronicles has the answers. I'll show you where to look.